Oh, I wanted to talk a bit about my documentary, and I think I mentioned it before, it's Paganism in Secular London. And I wanted to talk a little bit about why I decided to do that topic in particular. And in fact, if there's anybody out there in London who can spare a couple hours in the next week or so that's comfortable giving an interview and wants to talk about their beliefs and maybe how they got to where they are now, message me. But anyways, I chose that because when I initially came to London, I was very much comfortable in who I am, what I believe, how other people view me and feel about what I feel about, and just this whole, I was in a bubble, right? Bubble of comfortability, and yeah, that didn't make sense, but you know what I mean. So when I got here and I was going, sort of art school, film school, and I thought, maybe there'll be somebody there who will get me. No, there hasn't been. But that's okay because it just would have been nice, I think, to have somebody who I could have, had these high vibrational conversations with, talk about spirituality. It doesn't matter if they're pagan or not, just somebody who was at least open enough to want to talk about these things. So I'm not, I was in a bubble at home. I had a great community, and it was good. So here, it's very secular, which I'm used to actually, because a lot of my family, majority of my family, they're atheists. So that's not the issue. I think part of it is coming from America, where in the Midwest, that it's a very religious, it's very Christian, okay? So it's very Jesus-y. Which most of the people don't care, at least from what I've experienced, and I realize I've had some very nice experiences. But most of the people that are religious that I've run into, they don't really care that much what you believe in, as long as you believe in something, which I find hilarious. Because, I think how do I put this? I'd rather have really good atheists in my life than really good Christians. Only because, and hear me out, because atheists, they do what's right because they know it's the right thing to do. And it's not just Catholics, but very religious people of any faith. And we're talking organized, Judo, Christian, Abrahamic beliefs. that they tend to do what's right because they're afraid of what could happen to them if they don't. So to me, being a good atheist is more brownie points. I don't know, maybe controversial. Gonna get some haters, but that's okay. So anyways, so, you know, coming from America, and I guess this is considered Midwest, although it's a pet peeve of mine that every state is considered the Midwest unless it's like California, Oregon, Washington, West Coast, Hawaii, or like New England, New York area, and the rest of it is the Midwest, which is ridiculous. But anyways, I rant. So coming from that kind of background, you know, religion and a belief in some sort of higher power was always, it's sort of in the popular consciousness, okay? So when you say that, you know, you believe in God or goddess or multiples, they'll look at you funny. But at least they're kind of like, oh, okay. You know? Here, you can hardly find anybody who's like willing to admit they believe in one higher power. And then here I come, you know, with my big ass Mary Poppins bag of like deity beliefs. Like, it's awkward. It's awkward. And I'm surprised. I think I'm mostly surprised by the fact that I'm surprised, because I thought I walked that path already. You know, here I was thinking, oh yeah, I've done this. Baloney. Like, not quite, apparently. And I'm happy with that actually, because it's helped me. I kind of went through something like this last 2 years ago, where I kind of had to own it. And I had no problem owning it then. I have no problem owning it now. If somebody asks me, like, you know, what are your beliefs? I tell them. People don't really ask that here. So, coupled with that, I feel like people aren't really getting to know me entirely, because a lot of them are very young as well at school. And I'm like in my, you know, late 20s. So they don't really ask those kinds of questions yet. I kind of wish they did. So it's interesting. I'm finding my way through this. And, you know, I'm getting there. I've actually been feeling much better and not really giving a shit. You know, what everybody else might think. You know, because it's a very intellectual city. And unfortunately, a belief in anything other than science these days can get you kind of laughed at and left out of a room, if you know what I mean. I've never had that experience personally, but I've seen it. And you feel it. Those vibes, like, oh, yeah, that kind of feeling. And it's unfortunate. So, excuse me, we'll see how this plays itself out. I have a feeling, knock on wood, that I'll be coming to a fork in the road or a precipice, and I already know which way I'm gonna go. I've been on a path. I've been on a path this whole time. And ever since I was little, there are certain things that I've always felt truth in. And it's not going to change. Not that I can foresee. So I just, things are kind of coming to a head, I think. And that's good. It's about time. That's, obviously my personal life. So yeah, it's kind of all I wanted to say about why I chose that topic. I think that's all I wanted to say. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say, I think, for now.